Representative Nolan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to share a concern of some statements that were made. A lot of speakers have talked about what they think is enough for maybe things in their communities, but I want to just raise some facts for some of our communities or other communities, because emergencies to some might not be emergencies to all. And I know in my district, some of my constituents ask, what are we doing to prepare for the fact that there is so much uncertainty in Washington, D.C.? And I find the funding that has been set aside for us to have for the behaviors that are going on in Washington, D.C. are urgent enough for us to set it aside so we have the availability for funding for things that our constituents are concerned about. Emergencies like food assistance, health care, homelessness prevention, so residents aren't abruptly cut off from some of those basic needs. So I understand what people are saying, but just because some districts might not need to have the surety that I think that our districts have a need for with this funding, I think that that's why it's so important for us to make sure that it's there. And again, I understand what some think, but that thought for your district is okay, because it's not the same as many of our districts. So I'm glad that the governor is able to access that funding, and I'm glad that we're going to move forward today, pushing for it to continue, because I think that we need it, because we can't tell what Washington is doing half the time. So having that funding available just in case, and hopefully putting it back if we have to when we don't use it, is something that we need to start thinking about versus it just being there. So if we're gonna worry about it, let's just make sure it goes back to where it came from if we need to put it back, instead of worrying about it just sitting there because we weren't spending it anyway. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.